Mincha to be an Amizamo Bibi Aquaba. Mino Casay, Sammy Gyamfi, a hon a trendy power. Ni same Kaibia Chess or Kujian Court Kikan Yaba, a year at a force and try and a cosona. A year lawyer find Davis any Sammy Gyamfi Kushia Fine Davis chair say I thought I Sammy Gyamfi ne same be a can ya on shiny pana. Any baby and obit maki can say Miss Anna Elma a judge ne ɛte ne wɔn ne nsa ne kasa bi yɛ bu hɔ a ɔka ogu court no ho fi lawyer Frank Davis ne Sammy Gyamfi kan sɛ bebree gye bɛn ne nkuti nsɛm a wɔn kan yɛkɔba yɛba abɛto so ayɛ nkasa tv ayɛ de update ne trending news nkɔ na ɛde so me viewers yeah from so be subscribe to my channel obe like na asa do adwin che so go comment section kama kama e bi hwɛ mu ne akenkan bi ama
Brother advice, man, brother, to temper the language. I mean, sometimes it's a bit too harsh. I mean, even if you have a disagreement with someone, the language should be elegant. This of repeated beating of integrity and all that. I think we should reserve it for those who don't understand our training. I'll beg of Sammy, he should not indulge himself too much in that. It doesn't do justice to our practice. With all due respect to you, please. Now, I don't want to be a lawyer and a judge in my own cause, as he is doing. There's repeated recitals of sections 13, 52, 54. That's nothing to the conversation we are having. I have said from the get-go, it's left to others to disagree with me, but I have said from the get-go that that tape is doctored. So I really do not want to place too much premium on what transpired on that tape. In any event, nobody can tell anyone in this country the circumstances under which that conversation took place. They are saying it was a day before the court, whatever. But if you listen carefully to that conversation, it's a pieced up document. Because you never really would hear currently what somebody has said. It is only Jakpe's voice which is always heightened, and you hear him speaking. Now, I listened to that tape recording. I cannot, for the life of myself, see at what instance I heard the AG coaching. I'm choosing his words. Coaching, persuading, and getting Jakpa to skew evidence. You clearly can discern from what was going on that they had a disagreement over basic understandings of what was transpiring.
The LC.
Yes. They had a basic disagreement. Now, this person says this other person says this. At a point in time, I think the AG said, okay, you can say what you want to say. That is when...
that if you do it my way, it will not create any difficulty for you.
And then the guy said, Jakpa said, I will not do it your way. Because if I do it that way, I'll come out as dishonest. And I will not be doing fidelity to the proceedings. Fine. How can this be one of coaching? I'm having a conversation with you. You say something. I also say something. We disagree on it. You stick your path, I stick my path. How can that be coaching?
Could it be a failed attempt?
It cannot be a failed attempt.
Because if he had agreed, then he would have done it the way the AG wanted. Okay.
He didn't agree. That's the bottom line. He didn't agree. And you see, let us take all these things into context. I still maintain, like you said, that this is a without prejudice conversation. Whether the AG was right to have called Jakpa, or Jakpa was also right to have picked up the AG's call, is another matter. When we get to that bridge obviously will be crossed.
In law, when we say without prejudice conversation, what do we mean? Educate our views.
Without prejudice means whatever we are saying, we are not bound by it. So you say what you want to say, I say mine. But no one is bound by what we are saying.
And that communication cannot be used in the court of law.
That is it. That communication cannot be used because it's without prejudice. So you see, this attempt, you see, and let us be cautious the way we push this thing. In the first place, the intent, they are talking about criminal conduct of the AG. Sammy Gyamfi, it's criminal conduct of the AG. But he thinks that as a trained lawyer, the intent of Jakpa to have a conversation with someone and secretly tape that conversation without the consent of the other party, that to Sammy Gyamfi is fair. That to him is not criminal conduct.
So
That's clear invasion of privacy.
So by our constitution
Yes.
in Article 18.2,
Yes.
you cannot do that. You are not allowed to interfere with someone's privacy or privacy of the property or their communication. But you see that there are exceptions, including for prevention of crime. If their view is that this is to stop the perversion of justice and that perjury was being committed, that is a crime. So then, wouldn't they be justified in saying, in this instance, the without prejudice will not apply?
Why?
Because
Why?
of the exception.
What is the exception here?
That it is to prevent crime.
Which crime? No, which is the crime you are alluding to? The Attorney General calling him?
He says section 213.
Fabrication of evidence.
Exactly.
Why was Japa going to fabricate evidence? If I disagree with you, if we are to explain what letters of credit is,
Right.
you have your interpretation, I have my interpretation, and you stick to your interpretation. Can that be fabrication? Under what context can you call that fabrication? You see, if we are not careful enough, we are going to mix up this whole thing with people shouting and not understanding what they're saying. I come from a background of a trained lawyer, so I speak as a trained lawyer.
All right.
I'm not given to what media men or what people who are illiterate in the law will do. I stick to my training. I don't see any fabrication of it unless you see one. I have a basic understanding of something. You have yours. You stick to yours, I stick to mine. How can that be fabrication?
Okay. So when I started this show,
Yes.
I did Samson's Stake.
Yes.
And I was talking about how in 2016, for example, I have many, many friends in the NPP. And they will share messages, they will share documents like Samuel Kujeto will do today. And then we'll say, this is wrong, this is bad, let's do stories, let's do news about it. Coming to a question. Imagine this had happened to an attorney general in an NDC regime, and I called you on Newsfile. Would you say you see absolutely nothing wrong with it, just like Kuku Pencil also believes?
Something. It is only when you don't understand the basis of our training that you will be quick to judging people. I mean, in all humility, you have followed my practice for some time.
Sure.
You have spoken to me on very topical matters.
Sure.
You'll be the best judge. I don't boast about what I do, but it is for Ghanaians to judge me. If it had happened in the NDC era, I would maintain the same stance I'm maintaining now. The Attorney General, for whatever we say about him, is the leader of our bar at any particular point in time. The Attorney General is the Attorney General.
All right.
We can have people bash him. For those of us who train under him, if he's the leader of our bar, we train under him. I'm using this figuratively. So, if the Attorney General in the NDC time is the Attorney General, the Attorney General in the NPP time is the Attorney General, I will have maintained the same stance. Because you see, we should not bring ourselves into conflict at all with the law. That because we want to parade a certain line, we will bastardize what our training stands for. If an AG in NDC's time had fallen into the same trap, I'll have maintained my stance.
All right. Kwaku Pencil, hold on. Kwaku Pencil, earlier, you were of the view that there was absolutely nothing wrong with this, particularly because you were under the belief that the accused person was not represented. Coming to know that the accused person was represented, does it change your view that absolutely nothing wrong was done?
See, let me put it this way. I know where you want to get.